So hello and welcome to Teaching Research Data Management with the New England Collaborative Data Management Curriculum. This is an introductory module of a course designed to teach you how to teach research data management principles using a curriculum developed with a team from the National Network of Libraries of Medicine, New England region, located at the University of Massachusetts Medical School. My name is Elaine Martin. I'm Director of Library Services at the Lamar Suter Library and Director of the National Network of Libraries of Medicine, New England region. In this lecture, I will be introducing you to the curriculum and how you would use this curriculum to teach others to teach research data management principles. If you were going to offer this class, the first thing you would do is ask the attendees to introduce themselves. Ask them who they are and what they would hope to walk away with from the class. Based on their prior experience teaching research data management, you might ask them how they've used research data management principles and what they've done to teach research data management. You may find that they haven't been able to teach a class, and that's why they're here, to teach the class using these materials. Depending on how many students you have in the class, this portion of the class might take 5 to 10 minutes. We encourage you to teach this class in a variety of options and formats. Normally we teach the class in one day. There is a Twitter handle for the class, and there's also a website. This is an agenda for the class if you were going to teach it in a day. In the morning session, you would focus on the background of the curriculum, how to navigate the curriculum, how you would interview researchers in order to use the information to develop a research case, and you would go into teaching using research cases. In the afternoon, you'd turn over the class to the students. There would be an activity where they would be reading a research case and they would write a data management plan. You'd ask them to report out about what their data management plan would look like. You would divide the students into groups, and then you may use one or more cases depending on the number of students in the class. We also ask our students to do an exercise on customizing the curriculum. What we find is that there is a lot of information in this curriculum, and that it's important that attendees learn how to use the materials, but match those materials to their own institutional needs and to the audience that they'll be addressing the materials to. So this exercise allows the attendees to think about who they might teach the class to and what kinds of materials they would use for teaching the class, what their next steps might be. We also ask them to report out. We also include a panel discussion of practicing librarians to explain how they have actually put into practice the research data management principles explained in the class. We have a librarian usually from an undergraduate institution, a graduate institution, and a librarian who's used the information to teach to library school students or librarians. And then finally, there's the evaluation and next steps part of the class, where we ask the students to tell us how we could make the class better. As we think about what we want to accomplish in this class, we've developed a set of learning objectives, and we ask our participants to think about how they would teach data management using our curriculum, and we hope that they'll be able to walk away knowing how to do that. Teaching data management using our curriculum is the primary objective for this class. Other objectives include using a research case to teach the curriculum modules. There are a variety of modules that you'll see in the class, and research cases supplement those modules. And so we want our students to be able to select the research cases that are most appropriate to them and be able to integrate those cases into the modular concepts. We also want our students to be able to use the NECDMC website. Everything you'll need to teach the class is on our website. Lectures, materials for PowerPoints, activities, evaluations. So we want our students to be able to navigate the website and find the materials that they can use for adopting this for their own purposes. And finally, and most importantly, we want students to be able to feel comfortable customizing the curriculum to meet their own needs. We know that the materials that we're presenting are generalizable but customizable. And we hope that people will take the materials and recognize the differences between what we're presenting and what might be needed in their own institutions and what their own faculty and students will need, and be able to adapt the materials, the lecture notes, the PowerPoints, and add local information to those materials so that they would be more meaningful to the attendees of their institution. This curriculum is available under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, Share-alike 3.0 United States license. What that means is that you are free to reuse part or all of this work elsewhere with or without modification. But we don't want you to repackage it or sell it. We do want you to cite the Lamar Suter Library, University of Massachusetts Medical School, the title of the curriculum, the New England Collaborative Data Management Curriculum, and also put the information about the original work, our own curriculum, and where it could be found. The curriculum was developed over a series of years, and there are 5 phases that we went through in developing the curriculum. The first was the planning phase, and the second was developing the content and piloting in a local setting. The third was expanding implementation beyond the local level to a variety of other institutions. The fourth phase was the evaluation phase, and the fifth was building the community. Based on what we heard from our pilot sites, we've been able to refine and collaborate and revise the curriculum and add and delete to it. We are also in this phase currently and encourage more participation and collaboration and additional feedback. The planning phase took place from August 2010 through December 2011. We received an IMLS grant in collaboration with the University of Massachusetts Medical School and Worcester Polytechnical Institute, also located in Worcester. The grant was called Planning a Data Management Curriculum. At the end of the planning phase, we were able to deliver an example of what the curriculum would include, and this was called Frameworks for a Data Management Curriculum. These frameworks are still available and became the content outline for the modules that you'll see in this part of the lecture. The planning phase involved a variety of activities. The first was an interview, and several interviews, with students and faculty at both the University of Massachusetts Medical School and Worcester Polytech. The students were graduate students, undergraduate students, and a variety of faculty, both in the health sciences, biomedical sciences, and engineering and computer sciences. In addition to interviews with students and faculty, we conducted surveys with students. We asked the students and the faculty what they felt they needed with respect to research data management. In planning the curriculum, we had 2 boards. One was an advisory board and the other was an education committee. These groups met and invited outside speakers to talk to them about what they had done, if anything, with respect to research data management. We had invited Jake Carlson, for example, from Purdue, who had a lot of experience in data literacy, and he gave us many examples of what could be included in a research data management curriculum. In addition, we had 2 consultants. One was an educational consultant and the other was an evaluation consultant. And we did a literature search of existing open online research data management courses. And not surprisingly, at that time, there wasn't very much available. In our faculty interviews, we found several interesting things. The first, and not surprising, was that the research data management practices that faculty used in their research labs were varied. There was not a common theme that faculty and lab managers used. There was no formal research data management training provided for their students. Lab managers and students come and go, and as a result, faculty had many issues with respect to research data management practices that weren't being followed in their labs. Data was difficult to find, file formats were inconsistent, there was not a standard practice in their lab for managing research data. Students told us that they needed a familiar context to learn research data management, and the faculty reinforced that, and they felt that their students would be better applying lessons of research data management if the classes were taught in context. This led us to the idea of creating a course with general basic information regarding research data management practices, but adding subject specificity using research cases. It was impossible for us to develop many courses related to all the different subject areas that research data management might apply to. But the case-based method allowed us to take common principles and apply them in context for various subject disciplines. This is an example of what the course is organizationally structured like. As I said, the course has basic modules. It is modular so that pieces can be used in total or in part. These modules are based on the National Science Foundation Data Management Planning Principles. We took the NSF Data Management Planning Principles and condensed them to 7 major points. Each module corresponds to those points. So Module 1 deals with the introductory information or an overview of research data management. Module 2 deals with data, types, stages, and formats. Module 3, metadata, or how you describe data. Module 4, data storage, backup, and security. Module 5, legal and ethical considerations. Module 6, data sharing and reuse policies. And Module 7, repositories, archiving, and preservation. So each of these modules contains information that matches the NSF Data Management Plan requirements. There's basic information in each module. The subject specificity is applied by using a research case that is in the curriculum. This is an example of 2 of the research cases. Each of the research cases in the curriculum is an actual depiction of a research case in a specific research environment. These cases were provided to us by the faculty who participated in the planning phase of our development of the class. The cases have been developed to make it easier for science, health sciences, and engineering students at the undergraduate and graduate level to understand data management principles and challenges in the context of familiar research settings. And by integrating the cases into the classes, research data management instruction can be customized for a variety of groups. The case that you see on the left is the ortho case, and the case you'll see on the right is a vitamin D case. We have several cases in addition to these 2 that you're seeing on the screen. There's a health study in lab case that uses data derived from multiple projects. It's called Combining Data from 10 Years of Research for Retrospective Studies on the Effects of Exercise and Diet on the Risk of Diabetes. There's a biomedical lab research case called Regeneration of Functional Heart Tissues in Rats. There's a qualitative behavioral studies case called Improving End-of-Life Care in African Americans. There's an engineering test lab case called Characterizing a Component of a Rocket Engine Used to Control Satellites in Orbit. And there are many more cases. We hope to expand the database of cases, asking our pilot participants and others who've used the curriculum and developed their own cases to submit them to us and add to the database of cases. Each of the modules contains within it a series of formats, exercises, and activities based on lesson plans that we developed as part of our framework project. This is an example of what you'd see for each module. This is a lesson plan. The lesson plan includes learner objectives. What is it that we hope the participants in this module will learn from this particular module? The second piece of the lesson plan is the actual outline for module content. What would this module include? There are also activities in each module, so that if you wanted to give your students exercises to reinforce the principles explained in the module, you could use the suggested activities presented within the lesson plan. There is an assessment. Each module has in it an evaluation form or exercise that the students could do to help refine the class. And then there are a series of readings or a bibliography, which may be given in advance of the class or afterwards to reinforce, again, the concepts explained in the module. Phase 2 of the development of the curriculum dealt with the actual content development. As I mentioned in Phase 1, we developed the outline for the curriculum, but given the timing and the funding, we weren't able to develop the entire content development. So the second phase of the project was to expand the collaboration of content contributors beyond the University of Massachusetts and Worcester Polytech to a number of other institutions and their librarians who were willing to help us develop each module in detail. Tufts, UMass Amherst, Northeastern, Massachusetts Biological Laboratories at Woods Hole, and Harvard were our content contributors. Funding was received from the National Network of Libraries of Medicine to develop the entire content. Content developers teamed up to create lecture notes, slides, and additional cases for each module. Once the content was developed, we wanted to pilot it and see what worked and what didn't work in the development phase. And so we moved to the piloting phase. And we started on a local level. Instructors from the University of Massachusetts Medical School piloted the course in 4 different venues. The first was a Train the Trainer class in Philadelphia, held for health sciences librarians interested in using the curriculum for teaching research data management. The second was at the University of Massachusetts Medical School for the Clinical Translational Science Award program. It was a 90-minute class, so we took Module 1 and the materials in Module 1 and adapted it for 90 minutes and offered it during a summer boot camp. The third example of piloting was for library school graduate students at Simmons Graduate School of Library and Information Sciences. We took each module and delivered it in 15 weeks. And then finally, we developed a Train the Trainer class, delivered to librarians to teach them how to use the curriculum in their own setting. Beyond the local level, we expanded the pilot to other institutions that were willing to participate in a formal pilot project with assessment and evaluation built into it so that we could use the lessons learned from these pilot sites to refine and adapt the curriculum. In addition to the University of Massachusetts Medical School, Oregon State, the University of Vermont, the University of Iowa, the University of Manitoba, the University of Tennessee, the University of Washington, the University of Montreal, the University of Cincinnati, and Tufts participated in this phase of the piloting. Each site agreed to teach the class, adapt the materials for their own audience, and submit the evaluation forms back to the development team at UMass Medical School, and participate in a series of phone calls and interviews after they taught the class, explaining what the lessons learned were. What we found is that our pilot sites use the materials in a variety of different settings. One site taught the course for credit to graduate students. Another adapted the class for a 1-hour overview. Another offered the class as part of a scientific conference. Another offered the class as a semester course in a library school. Another offered it to librarians as a professional workshop. There was a class that was offered to graduate students in an induction course. Some offered the class as a full-day class for graduate students, and then another participant offered it as a 7-week workshop for staff, faculty, and students. And given the variety in which our pilots offered this class, they gave us many lessons learned. So during this evaluation phase, we developed the evaluation for each module, and the pilot site instructors had students complete the evaluations, which were, as I said, were sent to the curriculum team at UMass Medical School. Following this, our evaluation consultant held a series of either focus group interviews with groups of pilot sites or individual interviews with instructors from the pilot sites. And this is what they told us. They liked the video called Data Sharing Snafu in Module 1 and showed that in the class and received positive feedback about showing that particular video. The students also liked group activities. One example used quite a bit was on file formatting, and this worked very well. They encouraged discussion on where to keep data, and students participated in this discussion actively. They found the case study format helpful when paired with DMP components. It was very important, the pilot site instructors felt, to customize the curriculum and add local information on the slides and on the materials. So for example, sites would add the information related to the head of the Office of Research at their institution. They would add information about who in their institution was responsible for managing or preserving research data within the IT department within their institution. They would give information about how to fill out a conflict of interest form and where they might find that on their local website. Local information was really important, and customizing the materials was really important. Many said that they would like pre-workshop handouts distributed in advance, that there's a lot of material on this website, and that the students would like to see some of it in advance in preparation for attending the class. And students preferred cases in their own discipline. The courses that were homogeneous, that had students from the same discipline, did better than those with students from a variety of disciplines. The instructors told us that they found the class rich in content, but not quite shelf-ready, that it does take time to sort through and select content relevant to the audience. And we expect that, and we want you to do that. The instructors really liked the case study approach. They found instruction more successful with a balance of both lecture and hands-on activities. It was also helpful for instructors to invite guests to help teach their class. They might invite someone from the Office of Research or IT, for example. They liked being able to customize the materials and add their own local information. And a really important point was, don't attempt to teach this class all in one day. It's not going to work. Phase 5 is building our community, and in fact, we're still in this phase. We have a community bulletin board, and we encourage people who have used the materials to post information on the community bulletin board about how they're using the class, what lessons they've learned, and even post some of the materials that others might learn from and use. We do have a formal part of the website where you can actually join the collaboration and participate more formally as a pilot site, agreeing to use our evaluation forms and give us feedback. We do have the official pilot sites, but we have many, many unofficial pilot partners, and we want to hear from you, whether you're an official pilot site or an unofficial pilot site. We welcome contributions to our collection of research cases. We have about 12 research cases now. We'd like to build that database in a variety of subject areas so that the curriculum can be more and more customized. Our goal in the next year is to take the curriculum and actually design an open content online course and make that available through a series of videos. And finally, we know that customization is key, and adapting our curriculum to local needs is encouraged, and we hope that you will do that and share your experience with us. At this point of the lecture, I'll be walking you through a tour of the NECDMC website. The website is available at http://library.umassmed.edu/NECDMC. This is the home page for the website. As you can see, the website is divided into modules. The modules are located on the left and indicated by tabs. The first tab I'm going to walk you through is the lesson plans for teaching data management. And I'm going to show you what Module 1 lesson plan looks like. This is the lesson plan for Module 1, Overview of Research Data Management. Each module and the lesson plan for that module is structured in the following way. There are learner objectives, lecture content, activities, and a bibliography. Next, I will show you the information indicated under the tab How to Teach with Curriculum Materials. At this point in the website, you'll see how to use the Simplified Data Management Plan, Research Data Management Concepts and Issues illustrated in the teaching cases, how to teach research data management using cases, teaching with case studies, and the demonstration of teaching with a research case. Some of these are PowerPoints, some of these are Word documents. I'm going to show you the information we have on research data management concepts and issues illustrated in the teaching cases. Here we've indicated what the concepts are in research data management in the left column, and on the right column, the list of the teaching cases that talk about that concept. So for example, if you wanted to teach a concept related to animal data, documentation, and ethical and legal concerns, you might want to use the case called Regeneration of Functional Heart Tissue in Rats. If you were interested in teaching information on the challenges of team research or turnover in research personnel, you may want to use that same case, or the vitamin D case, or the case called Combining Data from 10 Years of Research for Retrospective Studies on the Effects of Exercise and Diet on the Risk of Diabetes. The next item I'd like to show you is what the different modules look like for managing research data. So if you click on the tab Modules, you'll find for each module a series of Word documents, PowerPoint slides, and activities associated with that module. This is an example of what you'd find in Module 1, Overview of Research Data Management. It is the lecture content for this module. It is in a Word document. It begins with the learner objectives and proceeds to the text of what you might use in your lecture. The next item on the website I'd like to show you is indicated under the tab Activities. Each module has associated with it a series of activities in which you could divide your students into groups and have the students work on during the class. This is an example of an activity for Module 1. It's an institutional resources scan activity where we ask students to review the data management plans and references to the contact resources, policies, and support available at Tufts University, and then to think of their own institution and what resources, policies, and contacts would be available to them if they were writing a data management plan. The next part of the website includes examples of the research cases. In addition to talking about how you can use the research cases, each research case is listed on this part of the website. This is an example of the case called Outcomes from Orthopedic Implant Surgery. Each case is structured in this particular way. The case begins with a summary of teaching points. Each module is listed, and the points that are related from this case to that module are listed in the introductory part of the case. Next, the case appears in a Word document, a description in this case of the orthopedic implant surgery problem. Following a description of the case, there are discussion questions. These are the kinds of questions that one might see in a particular case related to each of the modules. So this begins with discussion questions related to Module 1, and so forth and so on, regarding types of data, contextual details, data storage and backup security, etc. The next part of the website gives us examples of data management plans. There are specific examples written by other institutions, as well as a video on how to use a consultation service for data management planning and teaching. This is an example of a data management plan for biology. The plan includes also a table that explains the research product, the format of data storage, and the format of data sharing. This is a plan that would be applicable to any NSF grant. This is a video by Regina Raboyne from Tufts University and her experience on developing a consultation service for data management plans. The website also includes resources that we have used in our workshops. So under the top tab, Resources from Workshops, we have included the PowerPoint lectures that we have used in the various classes that we have taught. For example, this is the lecture called Train the Trainer, using the New England Collaborative Data Management Curriculum to teach research data management. All the slides that we used for this particular workshop are available in this section of the website, and you should feel free to adapt these to your own needs. There is a community bulletin board as part of our website. We encourage our community members to give us information such as slide presentations, case studies, class syllabi, and reports of lessons learned, and share them with you on this part of the website. I'm going to click on the Oregon State University Library's classes and show you the syllabus, lecture, assignments, readings, resources, and research life cycle information that Amanda Whitmire from Oregon State University developed for her class called Research Data Management, which she taught to graduate students. And finally, there is the tab called Join the Collaboration. As I mentioned to you, we both have formal and informal pilot sites, and we invite those of you who are using the materials to post information to this section of the website and give us examples of how you have piloted using the NECDMC. And here's an example from Tufts University and their experience in using the curriculum and what they found worked for them. And as more and more of you use the website and the information here, we hope that you will post information about your experience so that we can build the collaboration and learn from each other. This concludes the tour of the NECDMC website. We hope that you will find these information and materials useful and will contribute to the development and growth of the project. Thank you.